The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is the series that exposed me to anime beyond Toonami. I first watched it over 10 years ago, and to this day it remains one of my favorites. And for that reason, I felt like making a video on it. The point of this video is to look into the main cast's relationships with the main character. Despite Haruhi being the titular character, Kyon is the main character. Kyon is an ordinary human who gets dragged into the everyday insanity that comes with being in close proximity to Haruhi every day. The people around him have something special about them: an alien, a time traveler, an esper, and whatever the hell Haruhi is. Being surrounded by these kinds of exceptional beings while being normal would confuse anyone and make them question their place amongst them. And Kyon's no exception to that. Throughout the series, Kyon gives the normal person perspective and reaction to things that go on around him. He also has moments where he questions why he's roped into all this stuff and facing why he's a vital part of the club, the SOS Brigade. While not some kind of special entity like his friends, Kyon is, in a way, the most extraordinary of the group. He keeps the SOS Brigade grounded, and each of the club members looks to him for guidance. He's shown most as a guide in his interactions with Yuki Nagato. Nagato is the aforementioned alien. She has a very robotic and order-driven personality. While characters like Mikuru and Koizumi have a harder time interacting with Nagato due to several factors, one of which being them understanding her role as pretty much an observer of Haruhi's antics, Kyon actively interacts with her and pushes her to be herself, whoever that may be. While this plants seeds for the disappearance, it also helps her develop a sense of self. She also gave Kyon access, for a lack of a better word, to give her orders. Something interesting about Kyon and Yuki's connection is that Kyon, on top of inspiring change in her, is also the only one who catches the subtle changes in her expressions. It's also worth noting that a Yuki Nagato with a full range of emotions and the ability to express them is drawn to Kyon and develops romantic feelings for him. In the disappearance arc, she's interested in him, but in the spin-off The Disappearance of Yuki Nagato, she has feelings for him, is aware of them, and Kyon seems to reciprocate them. The next character up is Itsuki Koizumi. Koizumi is an esper who often is the one who explains the supernatural phenomenon to Kyon. He usually tries to do it in a somewhat understandable way for a normal person. While these two seemingly get along, frequently being seen playing Othello in the club room, there are also times where his interactions with Kyon feel disingenuous. It's clear that Itsuki has an agenda, whether it be his own or for his higher-ups. I'm not saying that he has some malintent toward the SOS Brigade. I think he genuinely sees them as his friends, but his job is to prevent Haruhi from ending the world, so he still has a job to do. To that end of preventing the end of the world, he becomes increasingly friendly with Kyon since he's the only one who can keep Haruhi in check. Next up is Mikuru Asahina. Mikuru is a time traveler, and I'd say out of the club, her interactions with Kyon are the most natural. Kyon is pretty protective of Mikuru, primarily protecting her from Haruhi. Since she lacks confidence, she has a hard time speaking up for herself, which leads Haruhi to pouncing on her, and then leads to Kyon de-escalating the situation. Kyon is shown to have some level of romantic interest in Mikuru, though I interpret that more as him seeing her as a cute and innocent person rather than another option for romantic interest. Mikuru starts off pretty dependent on Kyon due to her lack of confidence, but as the series goes on, she grows less dependent on people like Kyon protecting her, which shows pretty good character growth. The final character up is the one this show is named after, Haruhi Suzumiya. Everything that goes on in this series is because of Haruhi, whether it be direct or indirect. What Haruhi is unknown, but she's something akin to a god. She has the ability to alter reality as she pleases, but she's unaware of this ability. Due to Kyon and Haruhi being the driving forces of this series, they get a lot of interactions. They also get pretty close. During the Endless Eight, it's Kyon's understanding of Haruhi that gets them out of the loop even if it took a million attempts. It's also implied that Haruhi has feelings for Kyon. She's gotten pretty bothered with his and Mikuru's interactions. She also wanted him to be there at the end of the world with her, which is also what happened. The world was literally ending and he was there with her. But he was able to set the world back to normal after kissing her and saying she looked good in a specific hairstyle, which she then wears the next day. Kyon, having a more grounded view of reality, acts against Haruhi's impulsive decisions, as opposed to the rest of the SOS Brigade, who go along with her insanity in order to satiate her boredom. Haruhi respects Kyon and his input. Even when it bothers her, she'll usually acquiesce to his input to some extent. Kyon helps Haruhi accept normalcy, something shown when they have a list of summer activities, and things like cicada catching and getting a part-time job were on the list, as well as something like doing their homework being what breaks the endless 8 loop. Kyon is surrounded by special people while being an ordinary human, and yet the story puts him in the light where he's the most special character. He's their guide through Haruhi's madness, the mediator, and the only one who can really do anything for Haruhi that'll get her to settle down. That's what I've got for today. If you have your own thoughts on this, please let me know. Other than that, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.